The wellness revolution that is changing what people put in their shopping carts as health-conscious consumers ditch junk food and look for more nutritious options. Now, from high-protein snacks to low-sugar drinks and minimally processed foods. But these healthier options usually come at a higher cost. With inflation squeezing household budgets, consumers are also cutting back on spending, making the shift towards better diets even harder. And for packaged food companies, a health boom is putting pressure on traditional products. But they're also leveraging on the opportunity to make healthy eating more convenient and affordable. And one of those companies is a brand that you've probably seen before in the snack aisle of your grocery store. That is PepsiCo. We have Answer, CEO of APAC Foods at PepsiCo, for more now. And thank you for making the time. So PepsiCo is betting on healthier products, to win over budget-conscious consumers as well. For Asia-Pacific, what has changed the most in consumers here over the past 2 to 3 years? For example, for your health-conscious consumers, how big of a threat is this to your snacks portfolio?
Well, good morning, Liz. First of all, thank you for having me. We're definitely acutely aware of the trends that you cited, but let me first talk about what hasn't changed. What hasn't changed is Asia Pacific continues to be a very key long-term growth engine for us at PepsiCo. We believe that it's highly dynamic and diverse, and it presents a lot of good headspace for us to continue our growth. We don't believe that it is a one-size-fits-all solution, so we believe that there are multi-layer stack wins. Now, one of which is definitely thinking about how we continue to stay very close to our consumers, ranging from everywhere from emerging markets to frontier markets like Vietnam and Indonesia to the sophisticated markets and then the mature ones. Now, portfolio innovation is definitely one very important stack wins. And as you rightly pointed out, the consumer trends are shifting. And we believe that these consumer trends are informing us to go for very diverse, interesting product solutions and brand experiences going forward. And I'm happy to elaborate some of the experiments that we are pursuing right now.
Yeah, I want to drill down into that. Talking about more budget-conscious consumers. I know that PepsiCo has been cutting prices on major brands in North America in order to rebuild that demand. Are you considering similar moves in APAC, or could we maybe see smaller packets or alternatives to that?
Oh, absolutely. We are very conscious of the consumer trends in terms of, watching the wallet, in terms of driving different options. So we are definitely investing in driving greater productivity in the company so that we can give value back to consumer. We are offering many options for consumer when it comes to different pack and, price solutions. And then we are definitely giving portion control options to consumers, pocket size formats, and also some of the newer innovations. All of these are designed for affordability, for convenience, and also portion control choices. We also believe that the consumers, as they watch the budget, they will never want to compromise on great taste and joy, and this is what we are here for. So our answer is diverse options, choices, certainly a lot of science-led, technology in our food options, and very much so in consumer-centric innovations.
Yeah, and what I've noticed about Asia as well is that, we're experiencing a rise in obesity, diabetes, and we're seeing governments take a more active approach to this, sugar taxes, nutrition labeling. How much of a strategic issue is this for PepsiCo in APAC?
Very relevant. We are definitely bringing more diverse and functional ingredients in APAC to our consumers. And these new ingredients include whole grains, proteins, nuts, fruits and vegetables into our portfolio. What is very interesting is that our nutritionists, our food scientists, and our chefs, they're working very hard together because, as I alluded to earlier on, consumers want better nutrition densities, but they also want great taste, and then they want to preserve the local food culture. One of my passion points is actually in this area, and I'm super excited to see that our blockbuster hits are making very strong traction in the market. For example, Quaker Probiotic is an area that we are investing behind. We have a product that is probiotic, high protein fermented oats, and that is interestingly linking Asia fermentation heritage with modern food science. Another area is infusing the Asian ingredients. Another example under Quaker, oats is infused with black sesames, goji berries, some of the very familiar Asian ingredients. And then we are very excited to see that. The other area is certainly formulation. Some of our core products, reducing sugar, sodium, sat fat, and then providing consumers with some streamlined label. And then we have one product that is Lay's Naked Rice Cracker, and these are non-fried and then feature a much simpler ingredient list.
So, yeah, and definitely a wide variety of items. I also want to look at going back to the point about pricing, and of course, we've been talking a lot about tariffs and trade restrictions, of course, affecting the import and export of goods. How has that reshaped your APAC supply chains, and are you also, is there a possibility of that also passing on the costs to your consumers? Are you changing where or how you manufacture and source your ingredients?
Yeah, we are currently focusing on continue to drive a very resilient operation system ourselves, driving productivity so that we don't have to pass on the cost to consumer. So, for example, we are building a very deeply localized value chain, starting as upstream as owning our very own seed potato company and oat mill in Australia. We run 70 farms, 10 food plants in China, and then the footprint extends in Southeast Asia as well. So majority of our ingredients and raw materials are indeed sourced locally. Take the China market as an example, 95% of that is sourced locally. So we believe that we are fairly resilient against some of these, evolving complex trade environment. Of course, we are also staying very close to consumers as they think about their budget differently. And then I talked about the choices that we are thinking differently, the different pack price, price points for our consumers. These are juxtaposing on both ends. One, driving productivity, so we give value, and at the same time being very watchful to where our consumers are thinking about their budget.
All right, and appreciate you joining us this morning. And to their CEO, APAC Foods, PepsiCo.